Hey, it's Kevin. Thank you so much for coming by for the No BS social media chat. I don't have to tell you we live in very strained times. And I do believe, in all honesty, that social media has, well, caused some of that. Because now people who always felt they didn't have a voice now have a pulpit, now have a place to share their beliefs. And they sometimes don't worry about what others think. They sometimes think that because you're their friend, you're their fan, you're their follower, you're going to share those beliefs. And you're really walking a fine line anytime you share beliefs. And it's not just about sex, politics, religion, any of those big, well, hot button issues. It could be about anything. You know, recently I saw when Prince passed away, there were businesses who, I don't want to say tried to capitalize it, they tried to acknowledge it in some way. Now, the best was Chevrolet, where, I don't know if you saw it, I think it was on Facebook and maybe on Twitter, but it was on a website. I was surprised they didn't throw it on Instagram because that would have been a better place. They had a picture of a beautiful I think it was 63, 64 Corvette, a red Corvette, and used a Prince line, Baby Much Too Fast, and then, you know, his birthday, 1958 to 2016. Very touching, very poignant, but again, they had a connection. Little Red Corvette, the song, really the song that kind of brought Prince to the forefront before Purple Rain. It was a nice touch. But then there were other small businesses, there were other companies who tried to jump on the Prince bandwagon, and it didn't work. You know, I was able to share things on Prince and about Prince because I was a Prince fan, and that's the way I approached it, as a fan. But so many people try to tie in with what's ever going on. They try to be connected, they try to be socially aware, they try to be, well, pop culturally aware. That's better. And sometimes it backfires. Sadly, what you have to think about every time you post about something on social media is, are you walking a fine line? Is there going to be a backlash? Are you going to upset people? Because right now, it doesn't matter, even if it's the most mundane thing in the world, people could take offense to it. And I know it's silly, and I know it's crazy, and I know it oftentimes scares people away from social media. And I think that's something that, well, what you need to do is you need to say, okay, you know what, I'm going to put this out there, and if it upsets people, fine, c'est la vie, and just accept it. And know that sometimes some opinion is better than no opinion. I know we've touched on this before, and again, I don't even remember at this point if it was a topic unto itself or it was just something we talked about in a no BS video chat. But back when I was in radio, we were concerned with having radio personalities who made a difference. Now, always you want to have a radio personality who everybody loves, but in reality that doesn't always work. Two of the most popular radio personalities, and I don't know about the history of radio, but in modern radio, are talk show host Rush Limbaugh and talker Howard Stern, both of which are very polarizing personalities. They have a lot of people who love them, and then a lot of people who truly hate them. But what they don't have is people who are ambivalent about them. Now, that's both good and bad. Now, if you have too many people who hate you, that can come back to bounce you. But what I found was, and we did research on some of the personalities that I had and that I worked with, and sadly, they didn't make an impact at all. They were just a voice. They didn't have a connection to the audience, so therefore, they didn't matter. If you weren't playing the right song, if it wasn't the right music, that's all people were listening for. And we really tried to work on that to create personalities, sometimes polarizing, sometimes we even polarized me, their boss, who had something to say, who had a worldview, who had a political view. And I don't mean politics per se, I just had a view on life, who had something to say. And even though we didn't always like what they said, as long as they weren't upsetting the government, we let them say it. Well, now, with social media, everybody has their own little pulpit. It's not necessarily radio per se, but you have an audience. Sometimes if you throw something out on Twitter, you never know who's going to see it. I constantly have people retweeting me who I don't know, who I don't even know if they're following me, but it's a topic they're interested in and they're sharing it with their audience. So, I mean, you've always got it out there depending on what your privacy settings are, and mine are very, unprivate, because again, if I don't want people to know about it, if I don't want to have people share it or see it, I don't share it on social media. Anytime you post something, you could upset somebody. When you talk about hunting these days, you can upset the animal rights advocates. And again, I see both sides of it. When you talk about guns, when you talk about sex, politics, religion, all those hot button topics, yeah, you're going to upset some people. You're going to make some people happy, and you're going to upset some people too. But we're at a point in this world, we're at a point in life that everybody is sensitive to somebody not sharing their point of view. And I don't want you to get caught up in, number one, being scared to share your point of view because of it. And number two, I want you to at least go in thinking, hey, think before I do something. think before I post. Again, thought, that's the key to all of this. It's not just throwing something out there and just saying, well, whatever. Although that does work for some people too. Something to think about. You know, you could always be walking a fine line, and know that going in. If you're walking a fine line, you can upset some people. But if you're prepared for it, you can handle anything. Next week in the No BS Social Media Chat. NoBSSocial.com, the website. Our user on YouTube, No BS Social there as well. You can find it on our Intensity Media Facebook page. Would love for you to come back by next week and see us for another No BS Social Media Chat. I'm out of here. Thanks.